Today I'm introducing a new feature, a new series on my channel that hopefully I'll be able to keep up, but I'm going to do Throwback Thursdays. So today is Thursday, and I want to do, old movies on old formats and talk a little bit about the movies and the formats. And today in particular, I have a little story behind the Laserdisc that I've picked. So another Laserdisc video. But I'm focused specifically on this movie and this particular Laserdisc that I own. So let's get into it. What's up, physical media fans? So today Flo and I are going to be talking a little bit about this movie, The Goonies. So I know this is barely genre film. I know it's an adventure comedy. Kids on bikes type of adventure, but it has a special place in my heart. And this particular Laserdisc has a little bit of a story behind it. But I want to talk about the movie first and foremost. This movie, if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. I don't know how it would hold up as an adult watching it for the first time, but I saw it as a kid and fell in love with it and have revisited it many, many times since I first saw it. So I don't know how much of my love for this movie is due to nostalgia. That happens, but it really is a great movie with some powerhouses from Hollywood behind it, and the kids who came out of it ended up being pretty big names, or a few of them did anyway. So this movie is directed by Richard Dick Donner. Dick Donner had done Superman prior to this. Lady Hawk, I believe, came before this, and Lethal Weapon. I think that might have come after, but anyway, it's all around the same time. But those are some pretty big movies, or well-regarded movies, that Richard Donner did. So he was well established when he made this movie. It is pretty well known that it is produced by Steven Spielberg. It's definitely got the kind of E.T. kids versus the world feel to it. So his fingerprints are definitely on it, but Dick Donner is the director. And then the writer is Christopher Columbus, who I believe was married to Geena Davis at one point. But he is the director of Home Alone, pretty famously, and that often gets attributed to John Hughes, who wrote Home Alone but did not direct it. But Christopher Columbus directed Home Alone. He also did Adventures in Babysitting, which was a pretty well-known kind of an adventure film in the 80s that did pretty well. And he's better known as a producer. He's just produced tons and tons of stuff. And he has a writing credit on Gremlins, I believe, and he's producing supposedly Gremlins 3. We'll see if that happens. We've heard of Gremlins 3 for a while now. Maybe it will happen, maybe not. The last thing I read was that it's supposed to come out in 2027. We'll see about that. So those are the big names behind the camera, obviously. And in front of the camera, you have Sean Astin as our kind of protagonist, main character, who went on to, I think his most famous role is probably Samwise Gamgee in the Lord of the Rings movies. I think he was most recently in Stranger Things, probably something after that, but I mean, that's a recent thing that he has been in. He had a really funny kind of role in 50 First Dates, which is, depending on your penchant for Adam Sandler movies, is a fun kind of throwaway airplane comedy, romantic comedy. And by airplane, I mean, you watch it on the airplane because it's there. It's not something that you're necessarily going to seek out. But some people are probably huge fans of Adam Sandler movies. Drew Barrymore's awesome, so I don't fault those people for loving that movie. For me, it was like, oh, I saw this. Actually, I saw it on a bus, and I thought, yeah, it's fine. I don't need to see it again. But I thought Sean Astin was pretty funny in that. Playing his brother Brand, we have Josh Brolin, who is a huge name now. He's a very well-respected actor. At the time, he was the older brother, the teenage kind of kid who's supposed to keep an eye on the younger kids, and then this group of kids in this neighborhood, the Goondocks, who are being moved out of their neighborhood because the bank is going to buy it, and they find a treasure map in the attic that they are going to follow and find the treasure and save the neighborhood, right? So that's the central plot line of the story. Obviously, the younger kids slip Brant's leash. He didn't have much of a leash. But they slip out of the house and they go on this big adventure to try to save their neighborhood. I won't spoil it and say whether they do or not, but if you've ever seen a movie before, you probably can guess whether they save the neighborhood or not. So we have, sorry if I say this name wrong, Ki Hui Kong. Anyway, most recently won an Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. He plays Data in this when he was a kid, obviously. And his character is just amazing. He wants to be an inventor. He has these crazy inventions that he uses throughout the movie. The most memorable for me was the slick shoes. And he's like, "Hey guys, I got a great idea. Slick shoes." So there's some memorable lines, obviously. There's some memorable stuff in here. Carrie Green is awesome as the kind of Brant's love interest. Martha Plimpton is awesome in this, who plays kind of Corey Feldman's love interest. Corey Feldman is in this as well, who was very big in the 80s. He's not so big in film anymore, but he's been in reality shows. He plays music, and if you've seen some of that, maybe you know why I grimace a little bit. But Corey Feldman is in it as Mouth, and he's called Mouth because he just runs his mouth all the time. He's making stuff up, and he's just a talker, right? And then we have Jeff Cohen, who played Chunk, who I believe, if I remember correctly, has kind of criticized the film and filmmakers for having a chubby fat kid wear a Hawaiian shirt and do the truffle shuffle, shake his belly around, and his name is Chunk, right? I think he is an entertainment lawyer now, but his character is amazing in this. The characterizations in this film are so good and so spot on. The Fratelli brothers and their mother are amazing, and I can't remember the actor's name, but she is so good in this, and she was awesome in Throw Mama from the Train as well. It's the same woman. She's the matriarch of the Fratelli family. The Fratelli brothers are kind of low-life criminal scum, and one of them is Joey Pantaleone, who was probably best known as Cypher in the Matrix films, or at least the first one. So those two play off each other so well, and Mama Fratelli is so good in this. So the kids go on this epic adventure in their area, in their part of the Pacific Northwest, to find this fabled pirate ship full of gold and treasure to save their neighborhood. And along the way there's some social commentary, some commentary on what it's like to be a kid and to feel like you have no agency, but these kids have taken on their own adventure and taken some agency for themselves. It's super funny. It's super well acted. A lot of these movies from the 80s have some goofs, some jokes and stuff that really can be cringy and don't hold up for today, but this still holds up. I don't remember there being anything like that would be problematic today. Maybe there is. I mean, Martha Plimpton kisses, or Cary Green's character kisses the wrong kid at one point. But it's all good fun. It's so much fun. The sets are so amazing. The puzzles, the you know, the traps and stuff that the kids have to get across and through and solve are all awesome. It really feels like an adventure video game from, you know, the 80s or whatever, and that would probably be a text-based adventure game. In fact, it feels like a role-playing campaign, you know, designed by an especially adept game master. So I highly recommend this film. I have seen it so many times, and like I said, I fell in love with it when I was a kid. I think it still holds up as a great, funny, fun adventure. So I think even if you're an adult and you haven't seen it, check it out. It's super fun. Hopefully it's not just the nostalgia creating a bias for me and tainting my view of it. But I did mention that I was going to tell a little story about the Laserdisc that I have here. So there was a rental place in the Valley, just north of Los Angeles, and I can't remember if it's North Hollywood or Burbank or whatever. It's right over the hills from Hollywood, just north. And this rental place was pretty well known for having a huge selection of laser discs. It was called Dave's Laser, and it might have a bigger name, Dave's Laser and Film Emporium, I don't remember, but folks just called it Dave's Laser. And they were, I believe, going out of business when I lived there. So this is the very late 90s and maybe through 2001. So I don't remember if they were going out of business or just getting rid of their laser discs. So I was like, well, this is the film that I want to own on Laserdisc. And so I want to go and you know, if they're selling their stock, I want to buy the Goonies on Laserdisc. So I went, and I knew I needed to get there early. So I think I went like an hour or 2 hours maybe before they opened, and there was already a line down the sidewalk. So all these folks are in line to get Laserdiscs, and at the time people weren't buying DVDs, not that I know of, or maybe they did have some early DVDs, but people were looking for films that they wanted on the best format they could find at the time. Laserdisc was pretty much it. So people were lined up down the sidewalk. So I stood in line, I waited. As soon as I got into the door, I made a beeline to the G section, and I got the Goonies on Laserdisc. It was still available. Nobody had scooped it up. And so that was the only purchase I made for two reasons. One, because I was a poor young guy living in Hollywood at the time, kind of scraping by as a production assistant before I moved up to editor, and even when I did move up to online editor, I wasn't making a ton of money, but I could have afforded a couple of Laserdiscs. So I knew my budget was tight, and this is the one that I wanted, the grail that I wanted on Laserdisc. I think I already mentioned that the Laserdisc player that I showed off in one of my other videos I got from my work here in Chicago at the museum, that they were going to throw it out, and I got it, but it replaced a Laserdisc that somebody gave me when I lived in Los Angeles. So I stood in line, got this, I checked out, and I was very, very happy with my purchase. But that means that not only is this sleeve, the slip cover, very old, and I think it came with it. I think they sold it with it. But the actual slip cover for the Laserdisc is beat up. I mean, they rented it out. People would take it to their homes and then bring it back, and people treat rented things like rented things. So, but the actual disc is in great shape. I've watched it many times. I would say it's in good shape, not great shape. It does have a lot of surface scratches, but it plays great. So, that's a little bit of physical media history. I mean, this place that was well known for having a great stock of Laserdiscs, sadly went out of business and had to sell off their stock. And I benefited just a tiny bit from that by going and standing in line and making the purchase of my grail at the time. But that's it. So Throwback Thursdays, I'm hoping to start doing these every couple of weeks maybe. And hopefully you'll be interested enough to join me to hear a little bit about the physical media that I want to highlight. It's going to be stuff from my personal collection, or maybe I'll do stuff that I can put into my eBay store. So I'll go ahead and put that link in the description, even though I'm not selling this, not yet anyway. I don't have plans to. I want to hang on to this. It's not in the best shape, but I can still watch it, and I still have my bit of nostalgia and personal connection to this particular disc. But thanks for watching this far, and I really appreciate it. If you want to throw a like down there, or if you want to ask me a question or give me a comment, I reply to the comments. I would appreciate it. But you'll see me next time I post. Thanks.